हरे कृष्णा शिला गुरुदेव।
हरे कृष्णा शिला गुरुदेव।
हरे कृष्णा। हरे कृष्णा। हरे कृष्णा। कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे राम राम राम
Dhira Damodara Krishna Krishna. Krishna Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Are you coming?
Yeah?
Are you coming?
Yes, I'm coming to you. Prepare myself.
Yeah.
Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appeared 500 years ago, was known, amongst his many other supremely glorious qualities and characteristics, as the ideal preacher of Srimad Bhagavatam, and he taught the Bhagavatam by his practical example. Known as the cream of Vedic literature, the Bhagavatam points directly to pure devotional service unto Lord Krishna. Throughout this great literature, many prayers are offered to Krishna, which describe him as the summum bonum of all existence. In the first canto, Maharaj Parikshit, who personified perfection in hearing Krishna Katha, offers wonderful prayers to his spiritual master Shukadev Goswami, glorifying him as the direct representative of the Lord. The prayers of Dhruva Maharaj in the fourth canto, after he had seen the Lord face to face, are exalted as being beyond the reach of even the greatest philosophers. The prayers of Prahlad Maharaj to Lord Nrsimhadev in the seventh canto are especially loved by the devotees, spoken while even the demigods themselves were afraid to approach the Lord in his terrifying form. Amongst the prayers to Lord Krishna in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, the prayers by the great devotee Queen Kunti are particularly famous and profound. Kunti acted in the role of Krishna's maternal aunt during his manifest pastimes on this earth 5,000 years ago. Following the great battle of Kurukshetra, by which Lord Krishna established his devotees as the rulers of the world, the Lord prepared to leave Hastinapur and travel to his kingdom in Dwarka. This was near the end of his stay on this earth, and throughout this time the Pandavas, including Queen Kunti, had faced many troubles and dangers. The Lord had guided his devotees through all of them. At this time, Kunti approached the Lord and offered her prayers. Lord Chaitanya, whose biography we are about to hear, relished discussions on topics such as the prayers of Queen Kunti with his intimate devotees, since they reveal the super excellent position of Lord Krishna and his devotional service. The prayers of Queen Kunti are as follows. O Krishna, as the river Ganges forever flows to the sea, let my mind, my being, be constantly drawn to thee. O most gentle, O original personality, master of the senses, seated in the hearts of all that be, existing both within and without, seeing all but seen by none. Unto you I offer all my respects. O Krishna, O soul of the universe, beyond the range of our perception, covered by the curtain of misconception, we are bewildered by your movements. Though you work, you are inactive. Though you take birth, you are unborn. And though you descend amongst men, sages, animals, and aquatics, you are the transcendent reality. And although you are unknown above all that be, You reveal yourself to the surrendered souls who worship you in the core of their hearts. Unto you I offer all my respects. O Krishna, O eternal master and friend, once when you were a small child, your mother Yashoda took a rope to bind you. Your perturbed eyes filled with tears, and though fear personified is afraid of you, at that moment you were afraid. How can I understand these things? O my Lord, I offer all to you. O Lord, whose glance is as cool as a lotus, who protected us from a great fire, from a poisoned cake, from cannibals, from the vicious assembly of the Kurus, from sufferings and exile, from a fierce battle, and from a devastating weapon. You befriended us and stayed with us and guided us through all tribulations. I offer myself and whatever I have unto you. My Lord, your loving kindness and mercy often come clothed in strange guises, enveloped in a shroud of tribulation. Yet our journey through life is made easy by these hardships you provide. O Lord, let us not falsely claim that this world is our home. Let us not ever forget that this place is full of danger. But let the calamities come again and again, that we may remember you and meet with you again and again. For by remembering you, we no longer meet with repeated birth and death. O Krishna, those who always hear your glories, who always repeat your glories, who always see you in all things, and who always take pleasure in your pastimes, certainly find shelter at your lotus feet. My Lord, you can be easily approached, but only by those who are exhausted with sensual pleasure, unimpressed with opulence, unimpressed with fame and wealth, with prestigious birth, with scholarship, only by those who are finished with idle talk, finished with mundane beauty, finished with all forms of religiosity. My Lord, I am not afraid to be abandoned by luck, by good fortune, by friends or relatives. I am not afraid to be handled roughly. I am not afraid to wander the streets homeless like a beggar. I am not afraid to be cast away, condemned, quarantined, or exiled. O most gentle, most holy, most merciful Master, help me, prepare me. Do whatever is necessary to render fit this unworthy soul for entrance into your eternal abode. Before we begin the narration of the Chaitanya Bhagavat, we offer a short life sketch of its author, Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur. One of the principal associates of Lord Chaitanya, Srivas Thakur, had 3 brothers. One of his brothers had a daughter named Narayani. Narayani's son was Vrindavan Das Thakur. As a result of her great piety, Narayani would get whatever remnants the Lord might leave after eating, even though she was an unschooled little girl. Indeed, it was by the mercy of the Lord's prasad that Vrindavan Das Thakur took birth in the womb of Narayani as the incarnation of Vyas. While Vrindavan Das was still within the womb, Narayani became a widow. She lived in great hardship and poverty in a small room in the home of a poor Brahmin. When Vrindavan Das took his birth, it was 4 years after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas. Vrindavan Das soon began his studies. Vrindavan Das was barely 20 years old when Mahaprabhu disappeared from this world. Soon thereafter, he accepted initiation from Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Vrindavan Das Thakur is Sri Nityananda's eternal servant. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj, author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, has said, "O devotees, just read Chaitanya Bhagavat. By reading this book, you can understand all the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As Vyasadeva has compiled all the pastimes of Lord Krishna in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Thakur Vrindavan Das has depicted the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. Thakur Vrindavan Das has composed Chaitanya Bhagavat. Hearing this book will diminish all misfortune. By reading Chaitanya Bhagavat, one can understand all the glories and truths of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, and come to the ultimate conclusion of devotional service to Lord Krishna." He continues, "If even a great atheist hears Chaitanya Bhagavat, he immediately becomes a great devotee." The subject matter of this book is so sublime that it appears that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has personally spoken through the writings of Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur. I offer millions of obeisances to the lotus feet of Vrindavan Das Thakur. No one else could write such a wonderful book for the deliverance of all fallen souls. Anyone in the three worlds who hears it is purified. Vrindavan Das Thakur is Lord Nityananda's favorite devotee, and therefore he is the original Vyasadeva in describing the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Vrindavan Das's book was originally called the Chaitanya Mangal. It is said that Srila Lochan Das Thakur and Krishnadas Kaviraj gave it the name Chaitanya Bhagavat. Others feel that Vrindavan Das himself renamed his own book. Finally, Krishnadas Kaviraj offers a poem at the lotus feet of Thakur Vrindavan Das. Krishna's life was written in the Bhagavat of Vyas. The Veda Vyas for Sri Chaitanya was Vrindavan Das. Vrindavan Das has called his book the Chaitanya Mangal. Whoever hears his book, no grave misfortunes shall befall. Who reads it knows the glories of Chaitanya and Nitai, and knows what Krishna Bhakti is, and how it is, and why. His book contains the essence of the Holy Bhagavat, and shows what Krishna Bhakti is and what Bhakti is not. An atheist who hears the Thakur's words will soon relent, and join the ranks of saintly men whose souls are heaven sent. No ordinary man can sing of God as he has sung. The Lord himself has spoken through the Thakur's holy tongue. I bow 1,000,000 times before the holy lotus feet of Sri Vrindavan Das, whose verses are so sweet, that one who reads them shall be freed from this dark mortal earth. I bow 1,000,000 times before the place where he took birth. Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, Adi Leela, Chapter 1. I worship their lordships Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Nityananda Prabhu, whose long arms extend down to their knees, and whose beautiful complexions are the radiant yellow of molten gold, and whose elongated eyes are like red lotuses. They are the topmost of the Brahmins, the guardians of the religious principles of the age, the munificent benefactors of all living entities, and the most compassionate incarnations of Godhead. they initiated the congregational chanting of the names of Lord Krishna. O Lord, you are the eternal truth, past, present, and future, and you appeared as the son of Sri Jagannath Mishra. I offer my repeated obeisances unto you, along with your inseparable servitors, your unalloyed devotees, your sons, which can refer to his renounced Goswami disciples, or the devotional process of chanting the holy name of Lord Krishna, and your relatives, Bhudevi as Sri Vishnu Priya, Sri Devi as Sri Lakshmi Priya, and Leela, Neela, or Durga as Navadweep Dham. I worship the two brothers, the Supreme Controllers, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Nityananda Prabhu, who are the embodiment of magnanimity. By their inconceivable potency, they are the transcendental, eternal, Supreme Controllers of all. Now they have descended to the material world. All glories to Sri Gaurasundar, the supremely powerful Lord of pure transcendence. He has an aura of molten gold, with lotus petal eyes, and 6 long, graceful arms extending to his knees. While he sings the glories of the Lord, he dances in various pleasing postures, his heart inundated by the ecstatic emotions of devotional mellows. All glories to the moon-like Sri Krishna Chaitanya. He is the fully independent Supreme Person, always engaged in transcendental pastimes. All glories to the devotees of Lord Gauranga, the Supreme Lord of all lords. He is the Lord of the universe, the Supreme Controller of all controllers, and the personification of transcendence. All glories to his devotees. All glories to the ecstatic dancing of the Lord's intimate and dear associates. In the beginning, I offer my humble obeisances at the feet of the loving confidential devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya. I then offer my obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. He incarnated in Navadweep, and his name is Vishvambar. That same Supreme Personality of Godhead has declared in the Vedas and Bhagavat, worship of my devotees is superior to worship of me. Lord Krishna said to Uddhava, O Uddhava, serving my devotees is many times better than worshipping me. Therefore, in the beginning of this book, I offered my worshipful prayers to the devotees of the Lord. Thus, there is a chance of success in my present endeavor. I offer my respectful obeisances to my worshipable Lord and spiritual master, Sri Nityananda Roy, by whose mercy the transcendental pastimes of Lord Sri Chaitanya become spontaneously manifest. We should glorify the Supreme Lord Balaram incessantly with 1,000 tongues, for his 1,000 mouths are engaged constantly in praising Lord Krishna. Just as priceless gems are kept in secure custody, so also the invaluable jewel of knowledge of Lord Krishna's pastimes is kept safely in the mouth of Lord Anantadev. Therefore, the mouth that first glorifies Lord Balaram can automatically vibrate the transcendental pastime of Lord Sri Chaitanya. The Supreme Lord Haladhar holds his 1,000 hoods like snakes. He is a gigantic figure and the source of all inspiration. As Lord Nityananda, he is fully transcendental and eternally existent, intoxicated by the nectar of Lord Sri Chaitanya. Whoever sings or hears about Nityananda's supramundane character is offered the supreme shelter of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Mahesh and his consort Parvati Devi take great pleasure in eulogizing their object of love, Lord Sankarshan, Nityananda Prabhu. Their tongues pour out nectarian devotional hymns. As a pure devotee, Sri Shiva worships his Lord Sankarshan in the association of Parvati Devi and a million other fresh young maidens. All this is revealed in the 5th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord Balaram is worshipped by the entire Vaishnav world with songs of praise. Lord Balaram danced with his gopis in Vrindavan, enjoying their company. Their rasa dance is the pinnacle of sublimity. The Puranas describe that Lord Balaram performed his rasa dance pastime for the 2 months of spring, Madhava and Madhu. The Srimad Bhagavatam verses narrating this subject were spoken by Shukadev Goswami to Maharaj Parikshit. Lord Balaram spent the moonlit nights of the months of Vaishakha and Chaitra in the supra-mundane abode of Vrindavan, in the company of the cowherd damsels, increasing their conjugal love. The place was set aglow with the rays of the moon. The lotus and kadamba flowers bloomed freely by the influence of the moon's rays, and the soft breeze plundered their scent. In the groves on the bank of the Yamuna, surrounded by the gopis, Lord Balaram enjoyed the dance. The Supreme Lord Balaram, like a priceless, exquisite gem, decorated by the circle of the gopis, performed pleasurable pastimes with them, acting like Lord Indra's elephant, Airavata, the king of the she-elephants. The Gandharvas offered their prayers. The sound of the kettle drums rose from the heavens. The demigods joyously showered flowers upon them, and the Gandharvas and sages worshipped the Supreme Lord Balaram with verses praising his heroism. The sages unequivocally denounce associating with women, yet now they sing hymns in praise of Lord Balaram's rasa dance with his cowherd damsels. The demigods attended Lord Balaram's rasa dance to shower flower petals. They knew that there was no difference between Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram Haladhar. The transcendental qualities of Lord Balaram are obscure in the 4 Vedas, but the Puranas describe them boldly. What power do I have to describe them? Due to ignorance, some ignore the Puranas and reject Lord Balaram's rasa dance as unauthentic. The 2 brothers, Lord Krishna and Balaram, performed the rasa dance with the gopis in the same place in Vrindavan. On the radiant, holy full moon night, immediately at the end of Shivaratri Vrata, super-heroic Lord Sri Krishna and Lord Balaram, with their cowherd boyfriends, enjoyed themselves in the midst of the beautiful maidens of Vrindavan. They were both pleasingly decorated with the finest jewelry, sandalwood pulp, wild flower garlands, and exquisite clothes. Those greatly fortunate damsels sang sweetly, their hearts enraptured with love for Krishna and Balaram. Evening had not set in. The moon and the stars appeared. The fragrance of the Arabian jasmine intoxicated the bumblebees, and a light breeze carried the aromas of white lilies and lotus flowers. Lord Krishna and Balaram, considering this very moment to be appropriate, began their pleasurable dalliances. Lord Govinda, Krishna, and Lord Balaram sang together for the pleasure of all living entities, their voices rising and falling melodically. If a person, after reading Srimad Bhagavatam, is not affectionately inclined towards Lord Balaram, then he is rejected by the Supreme Lord Vishnu and his devotees. In the words of Srimad Bhagavatam, a non-believer is a Yavana. He is destined to suffer in hell birth after birth. There are others who, like eunuchs, make emotional gesticulations challenging, Which scripture describes the rasa dance of Lord Balaram? Who is so sinful that even after reading the scriptures, he does not accept the truth, but misinterprets the real meaning and gives his own distorted meaning? Lord Balaram is the abode of the moon-like Lord Chaitanya's deep affection. Offense at his lotus feet destroys all possibilities for salvation. Lord Balaram, in his incarnation as Lakshman, the younger brother of Lord Ramachandra, enacted the role of the Lord's servitor. Yet, as the Supreme Lord Balaram serves himself in every respect, as a friend and a brother, by fanning him, putting him to sleep, glorifying him with Vedic invocations, and expanding himself as his house, umbrella, attire, jewelry, and seat. O Lord, your direct partial expansion, Lord Shesha, is the source of all the various ingredients for your service in the transcendental realm of Vaikuntha Loka. And he is famous in his manifestations as your residence, bed, throne, shoes, clothes, jewelry, etc. When shall I see you with Lakshmi Devi, seated on the throne of Lord Anantashesh? Lord Anantashesh's partial expansion is the mighty Sri Garuda, whose satisfaction is derived from acting as the Lord's carrier in every pastime. His devotees include Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, the four Kumaras, Srila Vyasadeva, Sukadev Goswami, Narada Muni, etc. Lord Ananta's glorious qualities are unlimited and not fully known to everyone. He is the original personality, the greatest mystic, the Supreme Lord, and the greatest devotee of the Vaishnavas. Thus far you have heard about Lord Shesha's wonderful mood of service. Now hear about his great opulence. He is enthroned in the lower planetary system of Patala as his own source and repose. He is worshipped by all as his 1,000 mouths continually taste the full nectar of love of Godhead. In the court of Lord Brahma, Narada Muni plays on his veena, and with well-composed verses, he sings the wonderful glories of Lord Ananta. Is it humanly possible to know the supramundane nature of Lord Sri Anantadev? Just by his glance, he sets in motion the three modes of material nature, which are the cause of this world's creation, maintenance, and annihilation. Although he is one, he supports the entire variegated material cosmic manifestation himself within the pores of his person. He is beginningless and eternal. Who other than Lord Sankarshan is the shelter of persons devoid of all material aspirations? He is the support on which the material world manifests and acts. That Supreme Lord, cause of all causes, being profusely merciful to us, has appeared in his sublime spiritual form. He is the most powerful. In comparison, the lion's power is but an insignificant fraction. He performs pure transcendental pastimes to capture the hearts of his dear devotees. Who other than Lord Sankarshan is the shelter of persons totally indifferent to material progress? That Supreme Lord Sri Anantadev destroys countless sins by manifesting his transcendental form. What more is there to say than this? Just by proper hearing, or by accidental hearing, or by sincerely crying out for help, or even if a degraded person tauntingly utters the name of Lord Sri Ananta, then he is certainly purged and purified. Lord Anantadev's mighty potency is beyond any measure. That Supreme Lord carries on just one of his 1,000 heads the entire universe with all its living entities, mountains and rivers, and it seems like a minute atomic speck. Even if a person acquires 1,000 tongues, how can he describe the power of the omnipotent Supreme Lord? Lord Anantadev is his own shelter and source. He is mighty with unlimited power and strength, yet remaining in the lower planetary system of Rasatala. He holds this gigantic cosmic manifestation with indifferent ease. This material world's creation, maintenance, and annihilation as well as the three modes of material nature, are activated by his glance. Who can fathom Anantadev's non-dual, transcendental, eternal, and unborn existence? Out of mercy, the Lord manifests his supramundane spiritual form while he performs his variegated pastimes. All living entities reside within that transcendental form. The mighty Lord Nrsimhadev represents but a wave in the ocean of the Lord's unlimited pastimes, which satisfy the souls of his devotees. Lord Anantadev's unlimited names, when heard by or chanted by anyone in any manner, immediately sever the noose of innumerable births and deaths. Thus the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord always appreciate those who glorify him. Lord Anantashesh is the supreme destination of the entire universe. His holy name is the only means for the living entity's redemption. The Lord holds on his head the unlimited material nature, along with its mountains and oceans, simply for its protection and maintenance. The entire universe is a speck on one of his 1,000 hoods, but with his unlimited power, he does not feel it. Lord Anantadev, the original Supreme Personality and holder of the entire cosmic manifestation, incessantly sings the glorification of Lord Krishna, whose attributes are unending. But because both Lord Krishna and Lord Ananta are supremely powerful, neither is victorious over the other. Even today, Lord Shesha's 1,000 mouths continuously sing the glories of the Supreme Lord Krishna Chaitanya. How wonderfully Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram compete with each other. Brahma, Shiva, other demigods, and the perfected sages look on, feeling great exhilaration. The eulogies of Lord Anantadev pursue the ever-expanding elusive shores of Lord Krishna's ocean of qualities. O Narada, I, Brahma, and your elders, Sanak, and other sages cannot even fathom the extent of this material nature, what to speak of knowing the Supreme Lord's spiritual potencies. Lord Anantadev, the origin of all demigods, is unable till today to exhaustively glorify the Supreme Lord's transcendental opulence and potencies with his 1,000 mouths. Therefore, how is it possible for ordinary mortals to know such subject matters? Lord Anantadev, master of unlimited potencies, resides in Rasatal only to support the entire material creation. In the court of Lord Brahma, Narada Muni plays his veena and sings about these very same transcendental qualities of the Supreme Lord. Brahma and others are stunned in ecstasy upon hearing the Supreme Lord's transcendental qualities, and Narada Muni is worshipped by all because he sings about those qualities. I have also been moved to write a few phrases in praise of the unlimited potencies of Lord Nityananda, Anantadev. So I humbly request all of you to develop a loving devotional mood toward the Lord. Those desirous of crossing over the dangerous ocean of material existence, yet drown in the ocean of devotional ecstasy, may take shelter of Lord Nityananda. I pray to the merciful Vaishnava devotees of the Lord to fulfill my heart's yearning, that I may serve my Lord Balaram birth after birth. Just as Dvija, Vipra, and Brahma are different names for the same person, similarly, Nityananda, Ananta, and Balaram are different names for the same Supreme Personality. My Lord Nityananda Prabhu appeared within my heart and instructed me to narrate the transcendental qualities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this book. The pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are revealed by Lord Nityananda's mercy only, because his personal expansion, Lord Sesha, is the storehouse of information of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Krishna's pastimes. Although Sri Ananta Shesh is the embodiment of Krishna Kirtan, I have been able to offer only a humble prayer in his honor. Hearing Lord Chaitanya's qualities and pastimes can clean away all material contaminations. Know for certain that such pastimes are revealed only through a pure devotee's grace. For who can know the nature and pastimes of Lord Chaitanya? It is a hidden mystery even in the Vedas. Therefore, I have compiled only first-hand accounts, taken directly from the lips of the associates of the Lord. I see no beginning or end of Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. They are eternal and unlimited, and only the Lord's grace gives me the potency to compose them. I am simply Lord Chaitanya's mouthpiece, repeating as he desires, just like a doll moved by some unseen hand. I throw myself at the feet of all pure Vaishnava devotees, so they may cleanse me of all offenses. O my brothers, please listen very attentively to the transcendental pastimes Lord Chaitanya performed with his devotee associates. The ecstatic pastimes of Lord Chaitanya have been divided into 3 periods: early, intermediate, and later, Adi, Madhya, and Antya. The early period includes a description of the Lord's education, and the intermediate portion reveals Mahaprabhu's pastimes of congregational chanting. The concluding portion describes the Lord's pastimes as a sannyasi in Nilachala, Orissa. He had allocated to Lord Nityananda the mission of preaching in Bengal. The pious Sri Jagannath Mishra, Lord Chaitanya's father, lived in Navadvip. Like Vasudev, he conscientiously performed his spiritual duties. His devout and devoted wife, Srimati Sachi Devi, was a second Devaki, the beloved mother of everyone. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Narayan, appeared in the womb of Srimati Sachi Devi, and as Sri Krishna Chaitanya, he became the most precious possession of everyone's heart. The Adikanda begins by describing the appearance of Lord Chaitanya on an auspicious full moon evening in the month of Falgun, when the moon went into eclipse. The tumultuous sound of Lord Hari's holy name filled all directions, inspiring everyone to chant together, and the Supreme Lord Chaitanya was born amidst the chanting. The Adikanda also describes the Lord's numerous childhood pastimes. Lord Chaitanya revealed to his parents his otherwise unmanifest place of residence, the Holy Dham. He also exhibits to his wonder-struck parents the physical signs of divinity on his feet, such as the flagstaff, lightning, etc. This portion of the book describes how one day thieves kidnapped Lord Chaitanya from his house, but being tricked by the Lord, they brought him back home. Another story narrated here is how the Lord ate all the food offered to Lord Vishnu in the house of Jagadish and Hiranya on Ekadasi day. Yet another story describes how the Lord once sat on a pile of contaminated cooking pots and used the situation to instruct his mother in philosophy. He also acted like a crying baby, and with that ploy made everyone chant the holy names of God. The Adikanda also discusses the Lord as a child playing with his friends as if he were Krishna in Gokula. It describes how he began his education and with little effort mastered all the scriptures. It narrates Sri Jagannath Mishra's disappearance and Vishvarup's taking sannyas, and how these 2 disasters afflicted Mother Sachi. Then it describes the Lord's wonderful pastimes as a student. He was pride personified before the other student scholars. Chaitanya's travels through eastern Bengal are also described here, elaborating on how the land became a place of pilgrimage by the touch of his lotus feet. Chaitanya was the master of all different scriptures. There was no one in the 3 worlds to challenge his erudition. The Adi Kanda describes the Lord's sporting with his fellow students and their water pastimes in the waves of the Ganga. Then came the Lord's first marriage and the glorious disappearance of his first wife. He duly accepted a second wife, the daughter of a royal scholar. Once he pretended to be sick from a wind disorder. He took that opportunity to reveal symptoms of love of Godhead. While the Lord roamed about as a great scholar, he empowered all the devotees who surrendered to him. This story is also told in the Adi Kanda. The narration of the early life of Sri Chaitanya includes a description of the immense joy on Mother Sachi's face when she looked at the moon-like, blissful face and the graceful clothes of the Lord. Then there is a story of how Nimai Pandit piqued the pride of a scholar who was renowned as Digvijay, world conqueror. Ultimately, the Lord slashed that scholar's material bonds. The Lord put everyone, even his devotee, into illusion about his real identity, and he roamed the streets of Navadvip, deceiving all. There is also a description of the Lord's pilgrimage to Gaya Dham, and how he showered causeless mercy on Ishwara Puri by accepting him as his spiritual master. Adi Kanda is a reservoir of the Lord's never-ending pleasurable pastimes. In the future, Srila Vyasadeva, the greatest of sages, will describe other pastimes. But herein, I reveal the early pastimes of the Lord up to the time he returns from his visit to Gaya Dham. In Madhya Kanda, the Lord's omnipotence becomes known, and gradually his devotees are identified as they collect around his lotus feet like bees. Chaitanya reveals his absolute identity as Lord Narayan by sitting on the altar of Lord Vishnu in the houses of Sri Advaita and Srivas Pandit. Sri Chaitanya meets Nityananda Prabhu, and together the brothers make wonderful Krishna Kirtan. Then Lord Nityananda's vision of the transcendental six-handed form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is described. Later, the Lord exhibited his universal form to Advaitacharya Prabhu. Lord Nityananda's Vyas Puja has been described in Madhya Kanda, along with a story of how he was slandered by some faithless atheists. Thereafter comes the description of Lord Chaitanya's manifestation as Lord Balaram, when Lord Nityananda gave him his plow and club. The wonderful redemption of the two reprobates, Jagai and Madai, who were later become quite famous, is told in detail. Mother Sachi's vision of Sri Chaitanya, who is Krishna, in a blackish complexion, and Sri Nityananda, who is Balaram, in a whitish complexion, is also discussed. Lord Chaitanya once showed his unlimitedly opulent Mahaprakash form for several hours, and that story is told in Madhya Kanda. On that occasion, he revealed the transcendental truth about himself and the real identity of all his devotees. Thereafter, there is a description of the occasion when Lord Chaitanya, who is the Lord of Vaikuntha, Narayan, and the Supreme Absolute Truth, danced and chanted as he narrated the truth about himself. In Madhya Kanda, the Lord breaks Chand Kazi's pride, and manifesting his own spiritual potency, he engages in continuous congregational chanting. Chand Kazi received devotional service by the Lord's grace. Immersed in ecstatic bliss, Sri Chaitanya thereafter moved from village to village performing kirtan. He declared the truth about himself as he exhibits his Varaha Roop, a four-armed form, while riding around the courtyard on the back of his devotee Murari Gupta. The Lord also ate the rice of Suklambar, which was collected by begging, and performed many wonderful pastimes in his manifestation of Lord Narayan. In Madhya Kanda, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears before the devotees in the guise of Mahalakshmi or Rukmini Devi, the universal mother who breastfed all the devotees who were her dependent sons. The Lord once chastised Mukunda for keeping bad company, and later, when he was satisfied with Mukunda's obedience, he favored him with grace. Then there is a narration of the ecstatic all-night kirtans in Navadvip, which were held regularly for a complete year. Madhyakanda describes the mock verbal fights between Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Advaitacharya. Only a foolish person thinks that these were actual disagreements. Then the Lord instructed his mother and simultaneously warned the whole world about the grievous consequences of offending Vaishnav devotees. Satisfied by the prayers of his devotees, the Lord gave individual benedictions to each of them. Srila Haridas Thakur received Mahaprabhu's mercy, and the Lord showed compassion towards Sridhar by drinking water from his pot. The Lord blissfully performed daily pastimes in the waters of the Ganga with all his devotees. Once he and Nityananda Prabhu visited the house of Advaita Acharya Prabhu for a specific reason. It is described that the Lord heavily chastised Advaita Acharya, but at last he showed immeasurable grace on him. Then the Madhyakanda describes how the extremely fortunate Sri Murari Gupta became enlightened about the true identity of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda as Krishna and Balaram respectively. Those two supreme personalities danced in ecstasy in the house of Srivas. In Madhyakanda, the Lord explains the entire philosophical truth about human life, using Srivas's expired son as the speaker. In this way, he alleviated everyone's suffering. News of this incident spread far, and by the Lord's grace, Srivas could overcome the shock of his son's death. In another story narrated in Madhyakanda, the Lord threw himself into the Ganga, and Nityananda Prabhu and Srila Haridas Thakur lifted him out. Then, Srimati Narayani received a treasure desired even by the demigods and Lord Brahma. She received the remnants of the Lord's foodstuffs. The final story in the Madhyakanda is the pastime of the Lord leaving home and accepting the renounced order of life for the salvation of every living entity. There are uncountable pastimes of the Lord in the Madhyakanda. Whatever remains untouched will be described later by Srila Vyasadeva. As the Seshakanda opens, Vishvambar is in the sannyas order of life, and he has accepted the name Sri Krishna Chaitanya. He has shaven his head clean, thereby plunging Advaita Acharya Prabhu into deep despondency. Mother Sachi's suffering is unbearable, yet she is sustained by the Lord's mercy. Lord Nityananda, the manifestation of Balaram, smashed Chaitanya's sannyas danda, and thereafter the Lord concealed his real identity and went to Nilachala Puri. Chaitanya playfully taunted Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya when they first met, but later he exhibited his six-handed form to him. The Lord mercifully graced King Prataparudra with devotional service and lived thereafter in the house of Kashi Mishra. During Chaitanya's stay in Puri, both Swarup Damodar and Paramananda Puri became eligible to confidentially serve the Lord. Seshakanda also describes Chaitanya's trip through Bengal on his way to Mathura and Vrindavan. He stayed in Vidya Vachaspati's residence before moving on to the village of Kulia in Bengal. Millions of people gathered to see the Lord on his return to Bengal, and all who saw him were liberated. Chaitanya attempted to continue on his trip to Mathura, but after a short distance he turned back to Bengal. This story is described in the Seshakanda. When the Lord returned to Nilachala, he engaged in continuous kirtans with his associates. He sent Lord Nityananda to preach in Bengal, while he himself remained in Nilachala with a handful of devotees. The Lord and all his devotees danced ecstatically before Lord Jagannath's chariot. The Lord's travels to Rameshwaram in South India and his journey to Mathura through the Jarikhanda forest are also described in Seshakanda. Later, the Lord showered grace on Roy Ramananda and performed other divine pastimes he performed in Mathura. The magnanimous Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also graced Dabir Khas by revealing his identity to him. He liberated Dabir Khas and his brother and renamed them both. They became the famous Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. In Seshakanda, the Lord's travels to Varanasi are described. The sannyasis of Varanasi could not recognize the Supreme Lord because they were too critical of the Vaishnavas. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thereafter returned to Nilachala and became engrossed in congregational Hari Kirtan throughout the day and night. Lord Nityananda traveled throughout India as a wandering mendicant. His pilgrimage is described in Seshakanda. Who can understand Lord Nityananda's unfathomable, transcendental character? He roamed about Mathura with ankle bells on his feet. On Sri Chaitanya's request, he went to Panihati and distributed devotional service, love of God, to everyone. Through his causeless mercy, he saved Nahamala Roy and other merchants of that locality. In Seshakanda, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's remaining 18 years in Nilachala are described. Although numerous pastimes are related about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Vyasadeva will later tell them all in detail. Lord Nityananda finds endless joy in glorifying Lord Chaitanya, and he is an unmatched expert in that art. O Lord Chaitanya, please bless me so that I may receive the transcendental service of Lord Nityananda's lotus feet. He is the Lord of the entire universe. I have narrated in brief the contents of this book at the very outset. All of you, please hear with undivided attention the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda are my life and soul. I, Vrindavan Das, offer my humble song at their lotus feet.
জয় জয় গোরা চাঁদের আরতি গো শোভা কিবা জয় জয় গোরা চাঁদের আরতি গো কিবা জয়
Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, Adi Leela, Chapter 2. All glories to the beatific Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Sri Jagannath Mishra's son and the Supreme Lord of all. All glories to Lord Chaitanya, the life and soul of Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Gadadhar Pandit. All glories to the shelter of Sri Advaita Acharya and the other devotees. All glories to Lord Sri Gauranga and his associates. One receives loving devotion to the Supreme simply by hearing transcendental topics about Lord Chaitanya. Again, I offer my obeisances at the Lord's lotus feet, and at the lotus feet of all his associates, so that the pastimes of the Lord may appear on my tongue. All glories to Lord Chaitanya, the ocean of compassion. And all glories to Lord Nityananda, the embodiment of loving devotional service. The spiritual identities of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda as brothers and as servitors of the Supreme Lord are unknown. Yet by their causeless mercy, their absolute identities were revealed. Lord Brahma was enlightened about the absolute truth by Lord Krishna's mercy. Srimad Bhagavatam and all Vedic scriptures describe this. May the Lord, who in the beginning of creation amplified the potent knowledge of Brahma from within his heart and inspired him with full knowledge of creation and of his own self, and who appeared to be generated from the mouth of Brahma, be pleased with me. In the beginning, Lord Brahma did not have the power to see anything, although he had been born on a lotus from the Lord's navel. But when he completely surrendered himself to the Supreme Lord, the Lord, by his causeless mercy, appeared before him. That same mercy enlightened Lord Brahma with absolute knowledge of the Supreme Lord, the origin of all incarnations. Thereafter, spontaneous, pure glorification of him sprang from Brahma's mouth. Without Lord Krishna's causeless mercy, it is impossible to know the truth about his incarnation. His supramundane pastimes are inconceivable and inaccessible. Lord Brahma described them in the Bhagavat Purana. O Lord of the universe, O Supreme Person, O Supreme Soul, O Lord of the mystics, how marvelous you are! Who within the three worlds can know when, where, why, and how you expand your internal spiritual potency, Yogamaya, and perform your transcendental pastimes? Who can fathom the ontological reason for your advent in this world? Therefore, I can only submit the conclusions of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavat Purana as reasons for your appearance. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself, in order to deliver the pious and annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion. I advent myself, millennium after millennium. Whenever religious practice becomes weak, irreligion gradually increases. Therefore, Lord Brahma and others humbly requested the Lord to appear and protect the pious and destroy the demons. In order to re-establish the religious process of the age, the Supreme Lord descended on the earth with his eternal associates. The religion for Kali Yuga is congregational chanting of the Lord's holy name, and in order to propagate this religious process, Lord Chaitanya appeared as the son of Mother Sachi. It is confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavatam that the Supreme Absolute Truth, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, incarnated solely to propagate the congregational chanting of Krishna's holy name. O King Nimi, devotees always offer prayers to the Supreme Lord Hari, but now I will explain how the devotees in the Kali Yuga offer the choicest prayers accompanied by various rituals and regulations for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. In this age of Kali, people who are endowed with sufficient intelligence will worship the Lord, who is accompanied by his associates by performance of Sankirtan Yajna. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Chaitanya, propagated the essence of all religion for the age of Kali. Congregational chanting of Lord Hari's holy name. Accompanied by his associates, he appeared in Kali Yuga simply to establish the religious practice of congregational chanting. According to his desire, his eternal associates appeared before him, taking birth as humans. Anantashesh, Shiva, Brahma, the sages and other associates of the Lord all took birth as highly elevated, pure Vaishnav devotees, Bhagavats. Lord Chaitanya, Krishna, knew everyone's position and identity. Most of them took birth in Navadvip. Yet some were born in Chattogram, Radhadesh, or Srihat, and still others in Orissa. All these associates appeared in different places, but everyone met in Navadvip. Srivas Pandit, Sri Ram Pandit, and Sri Chandrasekhar are personalities worshipped in all three worlds. Sri Murari Gupta can cure the disease of material entanglement. Vaishnavas of this caliber appeared in Srihat. Pundarik Vidyanidhi, the foremost Vaishnav devotee, Chaitanya Vallabha, who was very dear to Lord Chaitanya, and Vasudev Datta all appeared in Chattogram. Haridas Thakur appeared in Budhan. The village Ekachakra is in the Radhadesh district of Bengal. The Supreme Lord Nityananda made his appearance there. Lord Nityananda is factually the Supreme Father of all living entities, but to show mercy on Hadai Pandit, a Brahmin and pure devotee, he took birth as his son. Lord Nityananda is an ocean of mercy, the shelter of all Vaishnav devotees, and the giver of devotion. He appeared in the district of Radhadesh, expressing their happiness at the appearance of Lord Nityananda. The demigods made joyous sounds and showered flowers. All this was performed, unseen by ordinary mundane eyes. From the time of Nityananda's appearance, Radhadesh district grew more and more prosperous each day. Sri Paramananda Puri, who was Lord Chaitanya's close associate in Nilachala, appeared in Trihut in Mithila, Bihar. When the land on the banks of Mother Ganga are places of pilgrimage, why did the Vaishnav devotees appear in impious lands? Chaitanya himself descended on the banks of Mother Ganga, so why did his eternal associates appear in faraway places? In their travels, the Pandavas avoided countries devoid of the sound of the holy name of the Lord and the waters of Mother Ganga. Lord Krishna Chaitanya, being compassionate on the unfortunate souls born in those lands, arranged for the pure Vaishnav devotees to appear there. His own appearance was required simply to redeem the material world. In order to accomplish this, he arranged for his pure devotees to take birth in impious lands and in impious families. Wherever and in whichever family the pure Vaishnav devotee appeared, he was able to purify everyone in the vicinity by his pure spiritual potency. The birthplace of a pure Vaishnav becomes a place of pilgrimage. Therefore, the Supreme Lord Chaitanya arranged that his associates take birth in many different places. And although they were all born in different places, they met, as if by accident, in Navadvip. Lord Chaitanya's birthplace was Navadvip. Hence, Navadvip was the meeting place of all the devotees. The glory of Navadvip cannot be compared to any other place in the world. Knowing about Lord Chaitanya's descent in Navadvip, Providence made it a prosperous and flourishing town to receive the Lord. Who is capable of describing Navadvip's opulence? Hundreds of thousands crowded to bathe on the banks of the Ganga. By Goddess Saraswati's grace, residents of Navadvip of all different ages were learned exponents of the scriptures. The people were proud of their material knowledge. Even young boys argued logic with senior scholars. Students came from different parts of the country to study in Navadvip, because there they could get a taste for scholastics. The number of students in Navadvip was incalculable, and the exact count of professors was also undetermined. The residents were content, favored by the favorable glances of Rama, Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth. But they wasted their time spending money for sense pleasures and other worldly affairs. As they grew prouder and more materialistic, people's taste for devotional service to the Supreme Lord had decreased alarmingly, and the beginning of Kali Yuga had ushered in immoral activities. The only religious or devotional activities they knew were invocations to the demigods and demigoddesses, especially Durga Devi, and prayers for temporary material benedictions. Some arrogantly worshipped Manasa, the goddess of snakes. Others wasted huge amounts of wealth worshipping dolls. They squandered large sums on the marriages of their sons and daughters, and in this way, they wasted their human life. Even the so-called learned high priests, Bhattacharya, Chakravarti, and Mishra, etc., did not know the purpose of the scriptures. Though they taught the scriptures, their activities were contrary to scriptural injunction. So along with their students, they drowned in the deluge of iniquity. Nobody was engaged in explaining the imports of congregational chanting of Lord Krishna's holy name, the religion of Kali Yuga. They spent their time simply finding faults in others. As for the superstitious so-called renunciates and hermits, not a single name of God ever escaped their mouths. Those considered most pious in society were heard repeating the Lord's name Govinda or Pundarikaksha only once at the time of daily ablutions. Devotional perspectives were invariably absent in explaining transcendental literatures like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. The Vaishnava devotees of the Lord became distressed, seeing the mass engrossed in material existence under the external energy of the Lord. How can all these living entities be liberated? They are completely mesmerized by the myth of sense pleasures. Although people were requested to chant God's holy name, they refused, and instead they foolishly busied themselves, acquiring fruitless material knowledge. The elevated Vaishnava devotees continued their devotional activities by worshipping Krishna, taking bath in the Ganga, and discussing Krishna-conscious topics. The Vaishnavas became moved to benedict humanity and prayed that Lord Krishna would quickly shower his mercy upon them. Foremost of the great Vaishnavas in Navadvip was Advaita Acharya, who was glorified throughout the world. The preeminent spiritual preceptor was the exponent on knowledge of the absolute science of devotion and renunciation. His delineation of Krishna-conscious topics equaled Lord Shiva's. His explanations on all existing scriptures arrived at the same conclusion. The essence of everything is devotion to Lord Krishna's lotus feet. He constantly worshipped Lord Krishna with great devotion, offering him tulsi blossoms and Ganga water. His intense attachment for Lord Krishna made him resound loudly in exaltation, and the sound penetrated the coverings of the material world, past the abode of Lord Brahma, and entered in Vaikuntha. Captured by the booming, ecstatic sound of Advaita Acharya's love, Lord Krishna appeared before his devotee. Advaita Acharya Prabhu was the leader of the Vaishnavas. His devotional service was the most glorious in Lord Brahma's planetary system. In that manner, Advaita Acharya spent his days in Navadvip. He suffered acute pain at the sight of persons bereft of devotional service. The people were all mad after mundane sense pleasures. No one was keen to worship or serve Lord Krishna. Some worshipped Vasuti, a female deity identified with Chandi, with many gifts, while others worshipped the Yakshas with flesh and wine. They drowned in the endless tumult of singing, dancing, and music, their ears deaf to the nectarian call of the auspicious name of Lord Krishna. The demigods are not satisfied with worship from humans, which is ultimately not pleasing to Lord Krishna. Advaita Acharya in particular was extremely unhappy about such worship. Advaita Acharya Prabhu had a very compassionate nature. He was always thinking of how to liberate the conditioned souls. He thought, if my Lord descends, then he can liberate everyone. I can boast of being an incarnation of Lord Mahavishnu only if I can convince the Lord of Vaikuntha, Krishna, to appear in this world. And when that Lord of Vaikuntha descends in person, I shall sing and dance in joy and liberate all the conditioned souls. Considering matters in this way, he constantly worshipped the lotus feet of Krishna with undeviating resolve. Lord Chaitanya made his appearance because of Advaita Acharya Prabhu's sincere plea. The Lord himself often repeated this fact. Srivas Pandit and his 3 brothers were residents of Navadvip. They always chanted Lord Krishna's name, bathed in the Ganga, and worshipped Krishna thrice a day. Later, Lord Chaitanya performed many pastimes in Srivas's house. On the instruction of Lord Chaitanya, many of his eternal associates like Sri Chandrasekhar, Sri Jagadish, Sri Gopinath, Sriman, Sri Murari, Sri Garuda, and Sri Gangadas appeared before the Lord. In connection with these various incidents, I mention only those personalities known personally to me. Otherwise, to mention every individual would make this book bulky. Each one of the magnanimous devotees executed his spiritual duties and was concerned only with devotional services to Krishna. Each was unaware of the other's spiritual identities, yet they mixed intimately as confidential friends. Wherever they looked, they saw a world devoid of devotion, and their hearts were seared with sorrow. They found no one with any taste for the nectar of Lord Krishna's pastimes, so they simply glorified the Lord amongst themselves. They often spent several hours together in Sri Advaita Acharya's residence, discussing topics of Lord Krishna, and in this manner they dispelled all discontent. The devotees saw the world burning in the flames of material existence, and they found no occasion to inspire the people to an awareness of God. This caused them great sorrow. Sri Advaita Acharya joined the community of Vaishnavas in an attempt to make the people conscious of God, but not a soul understood them. Stricken with grief due to people's suffering, Sri Advaita Acharya began fasting. All the Vaishnavas sighed deeply at the situation. Why sing and dance for Krishna? What is the meaning of congregational chanting of the Lord's holy name? Who are the Vaishnavas? Gross materialistic people, running after wealth and family, do not comprehend any of these things. Indeed, such atheists only taunt and laugh at the Vaishnavas. As evening descended, Srivas Thakur and his 3 brothers would vociferously sing the Lord's name in their house. The atheistic neighbors vilified Srivas Thakur, pronouncing him mad. They declared that the entire village would be destroyed because of him. The tyrannical Muslim rulers would tear the village apart if they heard people loudly chanting God's name. Some envious neighbors said they would break down Srivas Thakur's house and float it down the river in order to get rid of him. When Srivas Thakur leaves, then only will the village be peaceful again. Otherwise, the Muslim rulers will torture us. When the saintly Vaishnavas heard such threats from the atheists, they simply wept, telling their sorrows to Lord Krishna. Sri Advaita Acharya burned with rage on hearing this news, and unconcerned with his state of undress, he addressed the Vaishnavas. Listen, Srivas Thakur, Sri Gangadas, and Suklambar. I shall make Lord Krishna appear before everyone's eyes. Lord Krishna will come personally and liberate everyone. and along with all you Vaishnavas, the Lord will teach the atheists love of Godhead. And if I fail to keep my promise, I shall manifest my four-handed form and take up the disc. I shall sever the heads of all the atheists. Only then will I accept that Lord Krishna is my Lord and Master, and I am his proper servitor. Sri Advaita Acharya spoke extensively, and then resolving himself, he worshipped the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. The collective devotees also worshipped Lord Krishna's lotus feet with great attention and continuous tears. As the devotees went about their duties in Navadvip town, nowhere did they find any discussion about God or devotion. This shocked the devotees with grief. Some contemplated leaving their bodies, while others sobbed Krishna's name, letting out deep, long sighs. So severe was their pain at the sight of the futile endeavors of a godless society that they lost all appetite. At last they renounced all material comfort, whereupon the Supreme Lord made preparations to descend to the material world. By the Supreme Lord's desire, Lord Nityananda, the origin of Lord Anantashesh, descended before him in the land called Radha. Lord Nityananda made his appearance in the world of Srimati Padmavati Devi on the auspicious 13th day of the waxing moon in a village called Ikachakra. Although he is the original Supreme Father of everyone, Nityananda allowed Sri Hadai Pandit, a pure and elevated Brahmin, to play the role of his father. The Supreme Lord Sri Balaram is an ocean of mercy and is the giver of pure devotional service to Lord Krishna. He has again appeared, this time with the name Nityananda. The denizens of heavenly planets secretly celebrated this occasion, showering flower confetti with tumultuous sounds of joy and praise. Lord Nityananda's appearance in the land of Radhadesh gradually increased that district's good fortune in every respect. The Supreme Personality, who appeared to liberate the fallen souls, took the dress of a mendicant and traveled everywhere. In this manner, Lord Ananta made his advent. Now hear descriptions of Lord Krishna's advent. Sri Jagannath Mishra, the great transcendental personality, resided in Navadvip. He was like Vasudeva, Lord Krishna's father, always engaged in spiritual activities. He was magnanimous and possessed the best of all Brahminical qualities. His qualities had no comparison in this world. Sri Jagannath Mishra was of the same spiritual category as Kashyapa, Dasarath, Vasudeva, or Nanda. His dedicated wife, Srimati Sachi Devi, was the embodiment of devotion to the Supreme Lord. She was the universal mother. All her 8 daughters passed away, and she was left with one greatly fortunate son, Vishvarup. Sri Vishvarup was as beautiful and charming as Cupid, and the source of joy for his parents. From birth, Sri Vishvarup was materially renounced, and as a child, he mastered the different scriptures. The godlessness seen in the beginning of Kali Yuga was indicative of what the future had in store. The whole society would become bereft of devotional service. The Supreme Lord descends when religious principles decline, and he feels that his devotees are suffering. Thus the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, entered into the bodies of Srimati Sachi Devi and Sri Jagannath Mishra. Lord Ananta sang hymns praising the Lord. Sri Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi heard everything as if in a dream. Both husband and wife shone bright with spiritual radiance, yet ordinary eyes could not see. Lord Shiva, Brahma, and other demigods, understanding that the Supreme Lord was going to appear, came and offered prayers. These mystical pastimes of the Lord are all recorded, even in the great Vedic scriptures. The eulogies of Lord Brahma and others are most confidential knowledge, and hearing them will result in deep attachment for Krishna. All glories to the Supreme Lord Chaitanya, the maintainer of all. You have appeared to inaugurate the congregational chanting of the holy name. All glories to Lord Chaitanya, the protector of Vedic religion, saintly devotees and pious Brahmins. You are the destroyer of non-devotees and death personified for the atheists. All glories to Lord Chaitanya. Your transcendental form is absolute, eternal and full of bliss. You are the Supreme Lord of Lords, whose desires cannot be obstructed. You are unmanifest in millions and millions of universes, yet you manifest yourself in the womb of Srimati Sachi Devi. Who can understand the activities of your sweet will? Creation, maintenance, and annihilation of the universes are just aspects of your wonderful pastimes. Your might, ignited only by your desire, can destroy the entire cosmic manifestation. Is it not possible, then, for you to kill demons like Ravana and Kamsa with mere words? In spite of your ability, you appeared in the houses of King Dasarath and Sri Vasudev to kill these demons. Who can unravel the mystery behind your activities? Only you know your own sweet will. Simply by your desire, any one of your servitors can liberate all the innumerable universes. In spite of it, you descend yourself to teach religious principles to the people of the world, and thus benedict them. In Satya Yuga, you appeared with a whitish complexion to teach the path of austerity and meditation by performing austerity yourself. To establish religious principles, you took the role of a celibate Brahmin with matted hair, carrying an antelope skin, mendicant's staff, and water pot. In Treta Yuga, you appeared in a beautiful reddish complexion as the Lord of Sacrifices to teach the religious practice of sacrifice. With Shruk and Shrava in hand, you yourself conducted the sacrificial rituals. In Dwarpa Yuga, you came with the transcendently beautiful dark complexion of a monsoon cloud and established deity worship in every house. Wearing a yellow cloth and decorated with the Srivat sign, which is exclusively yours, you performed opulent deity worship. In Kali Yuga, you appeared as a learned Brahmin with a golden yellow complexion to disseminate the most confidential religious practice of congregational chanting of the Lord's holy name. You accept unlimited incarnations. Who has the power to count them? In your incarnation as the transcendental fish, Matsya, you came with the waters of annihilation. And as Kurma, the tortoise, you were the support of all living beings, holding the Mandara mountain. As Hayagriva, you preserved the Vedas and killed the two demons Madhu and Kaitaba. As Varaha, the boar incarnation, you rescued the earth. And as Lord Nrsimhadev, you pierced and killed the demon Hiranyakashipu. As the dwarf incarnation, Lord Vamana, you outwitted the demon King Bali. As Parashuram, you rid the world of Kshatriyas, the fighting class. As Lord Ramachandra, you destroyed the demon Ravana. And as Lord Balaram, who holds the plow, you expanded unlimitedly. As Lord Buddha, you preached the religion of compassion and non-violence. And as Lord Kalki, you destroyed the degraded Malechas, those who do not follow the Vedic injunctions. As Lord Dhanvantari, you distributed the nectar of immortality, Amrita. And as Lord Hamsa, the swan incarnation, you spoke the knowledge of the Absolute to Lord Brahma and others. As Narada Muni, you held the veena and sang sweetly. and as Srila Vyasadeva, you explained the truth about yourself. Lord Krishna is above all the incarnations and their beautiful eternal pastimes. He eternally resides in Gokula with many variegated pleasure pastimes. In this present incarnation, you appeared as a pure, unalloyed devotee. You disseminated the knowledge of devotional service and chanted the holy name. The nectar of congregational chanting of the holy name drowned the entire universe in waves of bliss, and every house knew the process of love of Godhead. How can we describe the universal ecstasy aroused when you danced with all your devotees and servitors? Just by constant remembrance of your lotus feet, your pure devotees freed this world of all ills and inauspiciousness. The touch of their feet dispelled the dark omens of the world, and a mere glance from them purified all directions. O Lord Chaitanya, so glorious are your servitors, that when they dance wonderfully with their arms raised, they remove all disturbances in the heavenly planets. O King, when Lord Krishna's devotees dance, accompanying the chanting of the Lord's name, the touch of their feet on the earth purifies the whole world. Their glance purifies all directions, and their upraised arms purify the higher planetary systems. O Lord Chaitanya, you are that self-same Supreme Personality, incarnated in person to perform congregational chanting and distribute love of Godhead with your devotees. O Lord, who possesses the words to describe your wonderful potency, to freely bestow the most confidential and hidden knowledge of the Vedas. O Lord, we ardently desire and pray for that sublime love of Godhead which you keep as a great mystery, offering liberation instead to spiritual aspirants. You are the spiritual master of the entire creation, and you distribute priceless wealth because of your magnanimity. The chanting of your holy name is the fulfillment of all religious rituals and sacrifices, yet you have personally appeared in Navadvip. O Lord, be kind upon us, so that we may be fortunate enough to see your wonderful activities in Navadvip. O Lord, you have fulfilled the innermost desire of Ganga Devi by sporting in her waters. Your exquisite transcendental form, which mystics and yogis envision in their meditations, has become manifest in Navadvip. I offer obeisances to the holy Navadvip Dham and the house of Sri Jagannath Mishra and Srimati Sachi Devi, where you made your divine appearance. In this manner, Lord Brahma and other demigods remained unseen while daily offering choicest prayers to the Supreme Lord. The supreme proprietor of the entire creation remained in the womb of Srimati Sachi Devi, and on the full moon night in the month of Phalgun, he appeared. That full moon night was the summum bonum of all the auspicious holy occasions of the cosmic manifestation combined. The Supreme Personality descended, accompanied by the process of congregational chanting of the holy name. He propagated this process by practicing it himself. Who is able to know the wonderful pastimes of the Supreme Lord? He arranged a lunar eclipse at the time of his birth. Upon seeing the lunar eclipse, the residents of Navadvip began to loudly chant the Lord's holy name and make other auspicious sounds. Endless teeming millions convulsed on the Ganga for holy ablutions and rent the air with loud chanting of the Lord's name. The tumultuous sound of their chanting penetrated the coverings of this material universe and traveled beyond Brahmaloka. All the saintly persons marveled at this wonderful chanting and prayed for a perennial eclipse. All the devotees experienced deep exhilaration and exclaimed, "Such great joy! maybe the Supreme Lord Krishna is making his appearance. The devotees went to the Ganges for their ablutions, followed by the roar of chanting from all directions. Women, children, aged, pious and impious, everyone loudly chanted Lord Hari's holy name during the lunar eclipse. The only sound within the universe was the all-prevailing chanting of Hari, Hari. The demigods showered flower confetti everywhere and proclaimed victory as they beat clamorously on their dundubi drums. Amidst the resounding adulations, the Lord and the very soul of the universe appeared as the son of Srimati Sachi Devi. The moon was eclipsed by Rahu. The ocean of the holy name inundated Navadvip, drowning and subduing the darkness of Kali Yuga. The Supreme Lord was manifest. All the 14 worlds resounded with the profound news. The moon-like Lord Chaitanya, Gauranga, had risen. The residents of Nadia were freed from all sorrows just upon seeing the Lord. Their happiness and prosperity increased day by day. The roll of the dundubi drums, the trumpeting of thousands of conch shells, the shrill of flutes and horns, accompanied Vrindavan Das's songs of praise to their lordships, Sri Chaitanya and Sri Nityananda Prabhu. His beautifully brilliant luster overshadowed the sun's shining rays and dazzled my eyes. His drawn-out, slightly drooping eyes defied description. The air was surcharged with joy. Lord Chaitanya had descended to the material world. One roaring sound of Lord Hari's name reverberated throughout the universe. Beyond Brahmaloka,
52.
speaker. When you mention this speaker. The computer. The computer back. Okay. Good. Which was on taste. What you do? What you mean? It's not going to. It's really going to help. Okay. Much better. That's right. It's more to add here. We finished? Finished. Good. Go. Okay, we good. We good. Here we go. Here we go. Yes. I'm gonna shake.
Конечно, Japa. Конечно. Japa. Конечно.
You see it? What did you say? Okay. Mhm. Look, it's a ticket. Maybe it's somewhere. Mhm. Yeah. Which- Mhm. Maybe you should be good. You bet.
Sure.
Hare Krishna, do. See you later. Hare Krishna.